Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here, the Wanderlust CEO, and today I have my good friend Jenn, and we are talking about the coolest niche in travel. I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. But Jenn, first and foremost, I want to say congratulations. You just graduated Careers on Vacation. How does that feel?
It is so satisfying. I'm so excited. I am ready to hit the ground running. I actually was ready to hit the ground running a long time ago. So, yeah, this is amazing.
I love it. What do you feel like have been your biggest wins or celebrations since taking the program?
Holy wow, there's been so many. And my coach Jen Hankey was like she had to slow me down when I entered the program cuz my past life I had a lot of business sense and entrepreneurial. And so she's like, I'm going to ask you to slow down, and this is what I want you to do. So we walked out with having a clear marketing plan, a clear marketing process.
Mhm.
Um, I learned more about the business. I connected with people. I was really unsure about what it would be like in the travel agency because I was not coming from the travel agency or the travel industry
Mhm.
at all, and it was awesome. So I hit all my goals by mid check in. And so we were shifting gears because my mindset had changed to becoming a CEO of an independent agency. Never in a million years would I have thought about that, Cyndi.
Crazy, right? And I love that. It's so funny because I remember way back when Jenn was in the program, because everybody that works and that's a certified coach with us has either been through the program successfully using the processes or they come from the travel industry. And sometimes you come in like, I want to go, 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 go. And we don't want you to burn out. It's like slow and steady kind of wins the race, right? So,
Mhm.
talk to me about any big goals that you achieved while you went through the program. What were like those biggest landmark things for you personally as you went through the program?
So, one of the things that I've had to learn is managing my expectations because I'm a type of
Mm,
person that will dive in and dive in really quickly and deeply.
yeah.
So, I had to manage my own expectations. And so, my goals, I actually got to set up processes. I
Mm,
actually got to um, learn about the travel agency or the travel industry. I didn't know anything about that. So, that to me is a big goal to have only 12 weeks to get to know something that was foreign. Yes, I've traveled. Yes, I've the furthest I've gone is Bali. But and with that being said, just because you're a traveler doesn't necessarily mean you're a travel agent.
mhm.
That makes a huge difference. I would say some of my bigger wins have been having the confidence to collect planning fees, was doing that. Also having a very clear arc in the sales, so being able to offer and counter objections. So I think at the heart of it, we're running a business, right? And
Mhm.
so being able to show up and take in income, especially for me, I wanted to leave my full time job. I think what I get to here, Cyndi, is the fact I did leave a full time job.
We retired another one, you guys. That's my favorite thing. Like, I love big sales. I love all the things, but when you get to put in that 2 weeks notice and go, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, that's my favorite. Jenn, how did that feel when you did that? Was it
I
like
will tell
scary and
you,
liberating at the same time?
absolutely. Absolutely. So, so scary. And I've done that before with a previous venture. However,
Mm-hmm.
this time was different because I didn't know it was on the other side. You know, again, foreign industry, taking a leap and a chance on myself. It was
Mm-hmm.
bittersweet. I had to really do a lot of soul searching to be like, am I ready? Can I do this? And I had to answer those questions for myself. Yes, I had the conversation with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
However, I had to be the one to make the choices to do that, right? I was the one that came to the employer and said that. It was scary. It was scary, but it was
Yeah.
awesome. Very liberating.
Do you feel like you had more confidence in making that decision because now you knew the best practices, you knew the path, you were seeing other students that maybe were on the experience track, so you knew what that would look like if you put a full on effort in, right?
100%. I'll compare it, and I know you've had past with other entrepreneurial ventures.
Yeah.
When I did my first coaching business, I really didn't have any structures in place. I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
a way of thinking in business. I didn't have one thing, a community behind me doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
This time I had it all. I literally had it all. And it really, really made it easier to make that decision. And it was still scary because it's my choice, but I knew in the back end I had support with me.
Hmm. Yeah, anything worth doing is always scary, right? And I always say if you're not a little bit scared by your dreams, you're not dreaming big enough. But kudos to you for like leaning in and doing the thing. And we always say we do three things really well at Wanderlust Campus, which is coaching, curriculum, and community. And putting those three things together is what allows our students to thrive. And that was built over time, understanding how do we need to train them? How do we need to support them? And then what's the community that we can create that will give them the best result as they graduate out of the official program, right? So I love that, Jen. Now talk to us about, you've been a business owner before. You've done some venture stuff, which is fantastic. So you probably knew, give me the roadmap. I don't want to mess around. Most other business owners, when they come to us, they're like, I don't want to go through the pain and suffering of making all the mistakes it takes to be successful. So that you probably came in with that kind of feeling that way already. But everybody has different things that we have to work on mindset wise. How did the mindset work that we have integrated through the program impact you either in your life or business?
Such a great question. And you're 100% right, right? When you come in from a business, because there's a little bit of ego. I say a little bit, but probably a bit of
Yeah.
ego that needs to be checked. And that mindset, I thought, oh, I'm good. I do a lot of self-care. I do all this. I've done these self-developments. Then I met Brandon, and he pretty much says, that's awesome, boo. You're not digging enough. And I'm like,
You're like,
okay.
how dare you? I
And
love it.
I love him. I've had contact with him even outside the program. He is amazing. And what I will say is, when one of the things that we talk about, having that CEO mindset, you think you have it as a business owner. You don't have it until you walk through this program, because you dig deep.
Yeah.
And you really, I will say I had to let go a lot of my past, and I'm
Mhm.
continuing to do so. However, I also needed to change my mindset. And then I will add on there, Cyndi, to this day, I am still doing that daily journaling. And
Yes, yeah, me
it's
too.
not every day.
Because
It's not
I'm gonna pull you in class. Like, did you do this? Did your any week, Cyndi can pop up and have that poll. Like, did you do your daily routine today? I
I do it. And
love
I
that.
sometimes do it on y'all. It is a powerful manifester. And it is, I'm seeing things now in my business that I never thought I would. You know, my planning fees. Cyndi,
Yeah.
a lot of us struggle with that, right? And
Especially
accepting
new
money.
agents, they don't have the confidence yet. How can I charge a fee when I've never done it before? I don't feel like an expert yet. 100%. Yep.
And I was there too, even as a
Hmm.
coach. But Cyndi, in 2 months' time, I went from 199 a person, or a group, to $500 a person. Like, it is not a problem.
Hello, or got more confetti for that. Yeah, it's true. And we talk about in the program, right? Like what's an hour of your life worth, right? And I'm not going to go into I coach you guys on the calls, but really getting you guys to understand the value that you bring, and then also how to position that, and also recognize you're trading an hour of your life, or hours potentially of your life you will never get back. How do you put a price on that? So kudos to you. I love that 5 times more. And look, if you are doing a fantastic job, your clients will pay that all day long. But that's why you have the confidence. You know the best practices. You know you can deliver on the service and all the things now, which is great. I love what you said about mindset and coming in with some ego. And, it's funny because right before the pandemic hit, we are the only program out there that had mindset. And even before we had Brandon on the team, I was training all the mindset. And when we started to grow, we brought him on. He's been phenomenal. We love him. But we all got checked. All of our egos got checked. Me too. During COVID, I said, okay, this is what I teach people every day. This is what I'm preaching to people. This is how the systems, I had to use my own systems to get out of bed in the morning during the pandemic, right? I've been training this stuff. I got to do it, and talk about an ego check. But that was the only thing that brought me out of the chaos. And from that, this because you've been in our community, but from that, instead of being in that shutdown phase during COVID of like, oh my gosh, everything in the world has gone crazy, we started to get laser focused on, okay, we have time all of a sudden. What do we build and how do we make this thing better? Which is how we built Wanderlust Campus. It's how we evolved our programs. It's how we launched a whole second sister company called Wanderlust Social to help you guys with your marketing stuff. And had I not had that toolbox, right, that we give you, that wouldn't have. So that's always a reminder for me to go, if you can, how you operate in the hardest of times determines your success in all times, right? So everybody has to have that toolbox. It doesn't matter if you're me. It doesn't matter if you're brand new starting in something. It doesn't matter if you're doing a totally different industry, right? So I love that you brought that ego point in there, because it's one of those like, look, if you're a master of mindset, you can skip those little videos if you want, but I recommend you don't, because it really does help escalate your success and also give you that home base of how do I come back to center when stuff starts to feel uncomfortable. And this is an industry you work from home or while you travel. There's not a cube mate right next to you or a supervisor down the aisle like when I started in the industry. You are in a silo. Now, you have our community, which is great. You can go online, do all the things, but it's one of those things where having that toolbox is so important. So Jenn, let's talk a little bit about before you joined us. There's a lot of people that watch these videos and they're like, I think Wanderlust Campus is for me. It looks like Careers on Vacation is the program that's the best fit, but they're on the fence. Like what really goes on in the program? You've been behind the curtain now. What do you want people to know if they're on the fence about getting started with us?
So if you're on the fence, I've thought about this. Like there's two things I would tell somebody. One comes from an old high school band director, which I won't say how many years because that'll date me. But what he used to say was, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And of course, in a high school band thing, we're talking about competitions, but that has stuck with me since then. So that's one thing that really helped me make that decision. And the other thing is a little bit of a story of how I landed in this industry. You were talking about COVID. I actually ended up hospitalized for COVID in 2021 in August.
Wow.
And I came out and I actually was working for a chiropractor on my feet in the healthcare industry, and I couldn't go back. I didn't have the stamina. So I had to fall back on some of my skill sets in my past history. But I took a lot of time in trying to figure that out and what I wanted to be. And so one of the things that I learned from a previous business coach was, here's the edge that you're on, right? You're here, you want to go somewhere else. And maybe you know where that goal is, and it's like right about here, right? And there's this gap in between. And so you literally have to have the faith and the commitment to go from here to here.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is have that faith that something is different, that if you change what you've always done, it will be different on the other side. And that's really the thing on the fence. And it's anybody's time is different. But those are the two things that I would tell somebody on the fence, that those are the things that are going to get you over the hurdle time and time again, going back to the tools that you're talking about. But those sayings have always stuck with me, and those visualizations have stuck with me in order to achieve life things and career things and now even business things, because I'm super focused on my business.
I love that. And there's such good analogies. There's an old one I love too that goes along with that. It says, set your goals so high you have to become a new person to accomplish them. And I think about the evolution of our students knowing no idea how to run a travel business. And like you said at the beginning, this is not like booking a trip for yourself. When you book travel for others, there are liabilities involved. There's different systems you have to understand. It is way more complicated than people assume that it is. And a lot of times they don't realize that until they get knee deep and they're like, what? I don't understand what's going on if they're trying to do it, DIY it or do it all themselves. And I think about that because when I think about our students who week 1, they're all bright eyed like you and they're like, let's get going. By week 12, they're like, I cannot believe how much my brain, I feel like my brain is 2 times as big because I had to learn so much. I had to do so much. I had to stretch a little bit to get to the place where I am now. And they are completely different people at the end of week 12 than they were in week 1. I think watching that journey so many thousands of times now has just been, it never gets old, right? Because it's like you're giving people the tools to do whatever they want with their life, which I love. But guys, I want to encourage you, go over and visit us at careersonvacation.com and take a peek. This is a little inside peek of Wanderlust Campus. You get lifetime access to Wanderlust campus. While you're in the program, you get to go to all of the live classes with not just me, but our experts. We have an amazing team that helps you, and our program is instructor led, which is so important. And we do have oh my gosh, Jen, you might be like, we're right around 250 case studies at this point for successful clients graduating out of the program. So congratulations on that. Last question, would you recommend us to someone that was in your same position, but why would you recommend us?
I absolutely would. And I would say it comes back to something it's been a little thread in here. You go through a change, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes people are like, "Oh, no, I'm good." But I will tell you, there isn't a single soul that comes out of this 12-week program that is like, "I want to stay. How do I get more? I want to still be here." And
That
I
is our
will
hardest problem. No one wants to
It
leave.
is. No one wants to leave, and you're like the mother hen trying to kick us out of the
I'm like, you're
nest.
going to be fine. It's time to fly. It's time to fly.
And that is it. So if you can go from wide-eyed and bushy-tailed to, "Wow, what am I doing?" to, "I don't wanna leave," that in itself is a very small journey, and I will
Yeah.
tell you, even to this day, Cyndi, out of my class, we have an accountability group of what I call the
I
4
love it.
queens of COV,
Love
and we meet on
it.
a regular basis. Mhm.
And that's the thing too. You get that community piece. We learned that a couple years into building this, that having that extension we have. So just so you guys know, if you're very new or this is maybe the first video you've ever watched, after you graduate out of what we call the active period, you get 12 weeks where you're working with me, the team. It's very intense. But then you get to go into our graduate community, which is online, and you can form friendships. And we actually put you on tasks during class, like practice your proposals and things like that. So you build these friendship groups even within that community, which are a beautiful thing. And then over in the grad group, we do special events sometimes, and we have continuing education events. But it really is a family, because that whole group is all about supporting each other into abundance. It's not a competitive thing at all in my community. That's one thing we really want to do different in the travel industry, because let's face it, the industry can be a little catty in some of these groups that are out there. That is not what you're going to find at COV. That's just not who we are. And every single student that goes through our programs, they're positive, they're fantastic. And when you get into that community, it really is like the gift that keeps on giving. So, but Jen, thank you so much for sharing your amazing story. I mean, so many just jewels of like nuggets of goodness here, and kudos to you for leaning in. I cannot wait to see what you do with your amazing brand. I want to talk just before we wrap up, one quick second. Will you tell everybody what your niche is? Because I love that you're doing a custom niche. I think it's fantastic.
Yes. That's like in module 1, you're branding yourself. And I came in and I was like, why is there not any culinary? And I'll tell you, at this point in time, Cyndi, I've coined the words exquisite culinary travel planner. And I'm using those tags, those words. I'm helping bridge that industry. And it's funny because in talking with Jen, I have found when planning some of the group trips that I'm already planning group trip with Alma Waterways, I've got a great relationship with them. But I'm noticing that travel and food, they are hospitality industry, but they're not talking to each other and they're not working
Right.
together. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and what are you always taking pictures of when you go on vacation? Your food.
Yes, you're
Instagrammable,
yeah,
babe.
100%.
So that's what
My
I'm doing.
daughter is such a foodie. I have to say, like, she's like always like, is there a foodie tour? Is there a walking tour? And because we love doing that stuff together. And like, I swear she's gonna be like a chef or something. That's not what she wants to be. But I'm like, how could you not? She will come home and make a meal just for herself, which I think is hilarious because she won't cook for her brothers. But she does like these gourmet things. And then when we travel, so yeah, there is a huge demand for that. I just love your niche. I think it's fantastic.
It's been so much fun to unravel too, for that point. And I think a lot of us have found in the industry too that it's not the custom packages anymore. It's more unique. I mean, it's not the cookie cutter packages. It's more
Yeah.
the custom packages, and so it's more the unique experiences. And it's all about the experiential, and that's what the culinary arts
Mhm.
are. Is it's a sensory overload, and that's what I'm trying to do for my clients.
Yeah, that immersion, that cultural experience in different parts of the world. So, Jen, I'm so excited about what you're doing. Everybody go follow Jen on social media. Her stuff is fantastic. And we're going to see you guys back next week with another amazing case study. If you want more information on the Careers on Vacation program, reach out to us at careersonvacation.com/ready now. If you want to have a chat with our enrollment team, we'd love to help you spec out your vision and find your best path to get into the industry. And that's where we're going to leave you today. So Jen, thanks for watching. I'll see everybody else next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here. If you like that last video, make sure you check out all of the other content on our channel. And if you want to follow along and travel with me around the world and see how I run my amazing travel brands and get some great tips on how to grow your own, make sure you check out that other content. I'm going to drop a couple videos here. Click those links. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.